hear the arena, that saw the bench. I mean, your first game of the year to kind of have a moment like that.
I mean, I've told you this before. I'm kind of old, so I've seen a lot of stuff, and you know, after the game, I told him, you know, the thing that I liked best was there was 21 assists on 33 made baskets. You know, how those baskets come. They come in all different shapes and sizes. And I thought overall, our defense was what made things happen. So we talked about that all off season, and you know, it was a good game. We shared the ball. We could have rebounded better, but you know, something we'll focus on. And you know, when you play like that, all your teammates can be involved, which is nice. Everyone gets a little chance to play, so that was good.
Chris, the decisions with who you decided to start. Can you tell us anything about why you took a couple of guys who had been seeming to be in the starting lineup out and went with a couple of other guys? Yeah,
we really haven't had a starting lineup. I've really been, you know, playing 4-minute games and really trying to mix and match almost all different combinations, because I think I want to use different looks. So there really was no rhyme or reason to that. You know, I knew at some point everyone was going to get their minutes, and you know, even throughout the game, I was putting different guys. I want these guys to get comfortable playing with each other all across the board, because on certain nights, I want to be able to. If I want to play 5 smalls, man, I might do that. If I want to play 1 big and 4 smalls, and so I want to. I've been doing it in practice a lot, so it was just kind of a continuation of that.
I mean, when you saw out of Marcus tonight, is it going to be hard not to start?
Again, I really didn't put too much thought process into starting units. You know, it's more about production, but you know, that'll probably change game to game.
Just what were your thoughts on Mark? I mean, 1 turnover, 19 points on 7 shots. Seemed to really control the game when he was in there.
Yeah, no question. He had a great game. I thought he had total command when he was out there. Good decisions. Obviously, his explosiveness and speed is, you know, very valuable. And like I said, when you know, I think he really generated a lot. You know, the unselfishness. So he probably had a lot to do with the 21 assists on 33 baskets.
Aside from the 21 assists on 33 baskets, what else stood out to you?
Our defense. You know, I thought. You know, we made some mistakes, but the difference is we have some guys that can cover up their own mistakes, you know, and maybe with their foot speed or their length. And, you know, as we play, we get into the Big East, you know, moving forward, we're going to play some good teams within the next few games, and, you know, we're going to be much better locked in together, you know, so.
Foreseeing 9 blocks a game? Is that what you're foreseeing?
You know, as long as they're coming from, you know, from help, not just being blown by, which, you know, so we want to just rely on those guys and funnel people to them, because they'll get in foul trouble too. But, you know, we have a system we like to work on every day. It's a lot is about guarding your man, but also knowing where your help's going to come from if you do get beat.
What are your thoughts on Owens? You know, the exhibition, he seemed kind of unsure of himself on the offensive end, and you know, tonight he hit a few jump shots, and you know, which I guess maybe some people weren't sure he can do, and you know, was 5 blocks. Just what do you think of him and the kind of player he could be?
Yeah, very versatile. You know, he's one of those guys that's going to be able, you know, let me throw different lineups out there. And we've seen him do that in practice, and you're right, he hasn't really done it, but he hasn't played. You know, a lot of these guys playing their first college game. So, you know, they're probably a little nervous and little jitters, but, you know, Tariq, we've seen him do all that stuff in practice. We just haven't seen the carryover. Tonight was probably the best we've seen in a short amount of time. So, you know, laying off and, you know, when you work hard in practice, you know you can do it, but you still have to make that transfer and prove to yourself in the game. I thought it was really good to see, because he's worked really, really hard, and, you know, in the weight room and on his skill. And so he showed a little bit of everything tonight.
Started the second half with a really, probably maybe one of your quickest lineups. Was that based on what you saw from Clifton Cook in the first half? You scored the first 16 points in the second half, and looked like your quickness there, trouble matching up.
We did a little more matching up. You know, they were pretty small physically, so there was some tough matchups to find for Seema and some of our big. And, you know, we wanted to try it and you know, put them in, you know, a different situation. But the second half, we wanted to just match up a little bit more and see how that would work. I thought that was a really good defensive unit, and in turn, they really got out and shared the ball. So we ended up working well.
Two more.
Chris, during game day, on game days last season, while you had a group of guys who had an incredibly good attitude, I mean, you were sort of going into days feeling like, you know, you're undermanned, less experienced than the opponents usually were. How do you think game days are going to feel different this year?
I mean, going back to my playing days, I'm pretty much a routine person, you know. I really didn't do anything different today than I did last year. I probably won't. I mean, that just gets, I think that's really just being a creature of habit, you know.
But does having more tools in your bag?
Oh, absolutely. I think what it does is it, you know, it makes me push these guys more. You know, I know what they're capable of, individually and more importantly collectively. So that's, you know, this natural raising the level of expectation with each other, you know. And they've done a good job of that in practice. But again, you know, each time you go out, you know, you got to go do it. You know, we see that all the time. You know, you have to go out and take care of that day. So, but again, you know, whatever types of teams I played on or were associated with, we never really assumed anything. That's when you get good, is when you just, you know, lay out your preparation and stick to it, and then go out there and perform. So I don't really, you know, I mean, it's only my second year coach, but I've been involved in this for a long time. So I said, like a great dunks are not going to excite me. And the turnover's not going to make me, you know, crazy. I've seen most of it. The thing is to really just, you know, make sure the effort's there, the energy, the efficiency, and, you know, at some point you let them play, and, you know, they're going to make mistakes. I understand that. So, but, you know, tonight I was happy because they played, you know, unselfish, and they've been doing that. That's the good thing. They're a very unselfish group. I think the other thing too is their talents are very different. Each guy has a strength, and the guy next to him might have, you know, a different strength, and then they can make together. They can, I think, form a good unit.
Final question, Zach.
Chris, I know you said your guy routine and everything, and how hard everything was last year, even the wins. Was there any point tonight where you kind of said to yourself, you know, this is fun? I mean, this is, nothing last year wasn't fun, but just as you're watching. What?
It wasn't fun. But I mean, again, this is not. Yeah, I mean, look, winning's much better. It, you know, makes everything nicer. You know, in the NBA, they always talk. You know, it sounds silly, but you know, if you watch enough games, they said the flight home is going to be nice, and that's really what the win does, because you got another game coming. You know, it's short-lived. Ultimately, the only bad thing about being involved, like an athlete or a coach, I mean, really, I remember the losses going in, even as a player. You know, people ask me all the time about, you know, my career here, and the first thing that pops out was we were losing 41 tonight at halftime against Georgia. That's the first thing I think of. Not the Final Four, not all. That's the first thing that stuck in my head. So that's, you know, so I think winning is more somewhat of a relief, and you feel good about it. You want to repeat it, but you know it doesn't carry over automatically.
Yeah.
With Tariq, you talk about the different lineups he gives you. What kind of advantage is it to have a guy like that who's so quick, so athletic? You know, if you want to go with a quick lineup, who's, you know, as big as he is, like what kind of advantages do you think that can help you create?
No, his skill set, his athleticism, his wingspan is all, you know, very valuable. But the other thing too is he understands all our positions. His IQ on the floor, we can move him around almost anywhere, and he understands that position and when it's supposed to be. If we want to run a set, he's not one of the guys we have to make sure he's in with another group. Not just physically we don't, because he can do a lot of things, but also as far as his IQ on the court is very high.